I've already made a video on factorizing when there's a leading coefficient, but that is using a more traditional method. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to use it using a method I like and sort of made up, called the X method. You might have been taught a variation of it, but that is how I'm going to do it in this lesson. So let's look at the first one, 2x squared plus 5x plus 2. Now, the way my method works is we first want the factors of 2x squared. So what times what is 2x squared? And I've got 2x and x. Then I want the factors of 2. So the factors of 2 can be 2 and 1, or they can be 1 and 2. Now, I'm going to do this right the first time, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like if it's wrong, just so that you can figure that out in the future. So the factors of 2 would be 1 and 2. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross it. So I'm going to say x times 1, which is 1x. I'm going to say 2x times 2, which is 4x. Now, in this particular case, I'm adding, and I want to get to 5. So would 4x and x make 5? And the answer is yes, they would. And they would make positive 5 if they were both positive. And so now what happens is this positive goes in between here, and this positive goes in between here, and those are my brackets. So that positive goes here, and my one bracket would then be 2x plus 1. That positive over here goes inside, and my other bracket would be x plus 2. Now, I did promise to show you what it looks like if it's wrong, just so that you are aware. So if I took exactly the same question and I said 2x squared plus 5x plus 2, still have 2x and x, but this time round I do 2 and 1 instead of 1 and 2. What would happen now is this would make 2x, this would make 2x, and again, I'm trying to add to make 5, and 2x and 2x are not going to add to make 5. And so that's how I know that these two factors are the wrong way around. All right, so maybe pause, write that down, and then we're going to do the next one. Let's look at question 2. So I've got 2x squared plus 11x plus 12. So first I need the factors of 2x squared, which would be 2x and x. And now I need the factors of 12. And this is where you've got to think ahead a little bit. It could be 12 and 1. It could be 2 and 6. It could be 3 and 4. Or it could be 4 and 3. So there are a couple of different ways it could work. And the idea is to mess around with those. From my experience, it's generally the two that are closest together. Like in this case, 3 and 4. So I'm going to try 3 and 4 and see what I get. So that ends up being 3x. That ends up being 8x. This tells me I'm adding, sorry, and I need to get to 11. So would 8 add 3 make 11? Yes. I want to get to positive 11, so they are both positive. And so my brackets are 2x plus 3 and x plus 4. We're going to look at question 3 now. Question 3 has the word solve, so the last step is different. But other than that, we're going to do the same thing. So we've got 3x and we've got x, and then I need factors of 10. So I'm going to use 2 and 5. I could also use 1 and 10. Now, I'm going to think ahead a little bit. If I put 5 on top and 2 at the bottom, then I would get 5 and 6 if you are paying attention. So we've got 3x and 2, that would make 6x. That's not going to get me to 17. So I can already tell that it's supposed to be the other way around. So I'm going to say 2 and 5. So that gives me 2x. That gives me 15x. That does add to make 17. So we've got a plus and we've got a plus. My brackets are 3x plus 2 and x plus 5. So I'm going to write 3x plus 2 and x plus 5 equals 0. Now, like I said, in this one, it's different because they're using the word solve and not just factorize. So you are going that one step further where you are taking each bracket independently and making it equal to 0 and then solving for x. So when you do that, you end up getting pretty much what's the opposite of what's inside the bracket. You do not have to show this step. The only thing the examiner will want to see is the factorizing and then these two values. That you don't need to show anything else. But if you want to write it out because it makes more sense to you, that is absolutely fine. So now that we've done a few with positives in them, let's do one with a negative in it, just so that you understand exactly how the brackets work. So 2x squared becomes 2x and x, and the only factors of 1 are 1 and 1, so that makes that easy. This ends up giving me 1x, that ends up giving me 2x. This time I am subtracting, and when I'm subtracting, I'm trying to get a value of negative 1. Now, the only way x and 2x can give me a value of negative 1 is if it was negative 2x plus x, because negative 2 add 1 is negative 1. And so then this is where those brackets come in nicely. So that negative is going to go in between here, and that positive is going to go in between here. And so your brackets end up being 2x plus 1 and x minus 1. Hopefully that cleared up how to use the negatives. Going to move on to the rest of these. I will answer a few at a time because now we're in the kind of the hang of it. So here are the next two questions. Note that where are we now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth question says factorize, but the sixth question says solve because it's also got an equals to 0. So you've got to go that one step further. I would suggest that you pause the video at this point, try it yourself, and then see if you get the same thing as me. If you are just going to continue, so the factors of 3x squared would be 3x and x, and the factors of 6 can either be 2 and 3, 3 and 2, or 6 and 1, or 1 and 6. So I'm going to try for 2 and 3, because I think that will get me to 11. So 3x and 3 make 9x, x and 2 make 2x. That does in fact add to make 11, but I specifically want negative 11. So I'd say minus 2 minus 9. So the brackets are 3x minus 2 and x minus 3. So those are my two brackets, 3x minus 2 and x minus 3. For the next one, I need to get to 19. Now, normally I would tell you, well, 4x would be 2x and 2x. But I want you to think ahead. If I want to get to 19, I need to get really, really close to that number. And 4 times 5 is 20, so that gets me close. So I'm actually going to use 4x and x, and I'm going to use 1 and 5, because I'm already thinking ahead that this will end up making 1, this will end up making 20, and that gets me really close to 19. The last sign is a minus, meaning I'm subtracting, and I'm trying to get to negative 19, which means it'll be negative 20, add x. That's how I'm going to get to negative 19. And so my brackets are 4x plus 1 and x minus 5. So let's write that out. We've got 4x plus 1 and x minus 5. It's equal to 0 because I'm solving, not just factorizing. And so my two answers are negative 1/4 or positive 5. All right, so here we've got the last 4 questions. This time I really do want you to try them on your own. See if you can get the same answers as me. When you unpause, all the answers will be on the screen for you. Right, and here we are at the end of this video. I've got the 4 solutions on the board. I've tried to show every step that I would have made. Hopefully you noticed that here for question 9 it said solve and not just factorize, which meant you had to go that one step further, otherwise you'll lose marks. Really hope you enjoyed this video, and good luck with any future tests.